Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel, and in today's video we are continuing with the Occupational Health and Safety Act 85 of 1993, and we'll be covering section 7 to 20, and this is part 2 by the way. So this section deals with the health and safety policies, the duties of employees and employees. So we're gonna leave out section 9, 10 and 11, which includes the manufacturers and others, right? So we're going to focus on even the CEO, as well as the important roles of health and safety representative and committee. And before we dive into the section, let's quickly recap the structure of OHS legislation. Remember I said legislation has 3 parts, right? We have what we call the Act, which is the foundation of the workplace health and safety. We have what we call regulations, which detailed the rules supporting the act. And we have what we call the code of conduct, which is the practical guidance on how to comply with both the act and as well as the regulations. So about this act that we're talking about, the OH or the HOSH Act, I always say OHS, Act of 85 of 1993. It has 50 sections and governed all workplaces in South Africa. 50 sections and 4 categories of regulations. So the regulations under this act are divided into 4. So those categories are general. So we call it, we can say general regulations. So basically it's the basic rules for all the workplaces. In all, we need first aiders, right, for example. So second one is health regulations. So specific requirements to protect let's say workers' health especially. So we have mechanical regulations, which is safety standards for machinery and equipment. So we have as well electrical regulation safety, so which is requirements for electrical installation and work. So these rules actually ensure that workplaces remain safe, hazards are controlled, and everyone knows their responsibility. So let's go step by step through all the sections from 7 to 20, excluding those that I mentioned, so that we can understand all of them, right? So we'll start with section 7, which talks about health and safety policy. So section 7, it actually requires that when instructed by the chief inspector, an employer must actually prepare a written health and safety policy. So policy, the first law commitment or the first or the plan direction on how to deal with safety at workplace. So this policy must be signed by CEO, right, of the organization, and it must as well be displayed at the workplace for all the employees to actually see it. So it's more like a declaration of the company's commitment to creating and as well maintaining a safe and healthy work environment. So now we're going to as well move into section 8, which is general duties of employers to their employees. So employers must actually provide and maintain a good working environment that is actually safe, that is without risk to health, because we don't want to be working in a space that will hurt us, right? So this includes providing a safe system of work, ensuring that machineries and equipment are safe, training as well, because you need information and supervision for this, so it must be provided to all the employees. As well preventing exposure to hazards wherever possible. So in short, section 8 places the duty of care on all the employer to protect their employees. And then we will jump into section 13, which is duty to inform. So basically an employer has a duty to what? To inform. So employers must actually inform all the employees about the workplace hazards, safety precautions, emergencies procedures, and information as well should be communicated clearly, via training, via notices or toolbox talks. So all these general duties of employees, that is section 14 at work. So where it talks about employees have a shared responsibility, for safety. You see, you take reasonable care of their own health and safety, which is very important because safety, guys, begins with you first. So avoid actions that could actually harm others. You follow safety rules and procedures. You use your what you call protective equipment properly. always ensure you wear it, right? And as well, report unsafe conditions or incidents. If you see a hole, report it. So employees cannot actually simply rely on employer, they must always play their own part as well. So we're going to as well include section 15, which is duty not to interfere. So basically, employee have duty not to interfere or misuse things at workplace. So employees must not tamper with or misuse, safety equipment or anything provided for health and safety. For example, you altering, your protective equipment so that it can slim fit you. An example, removing machine guards, blocking emergency exit, or even using fire extinguisher for non-emergencies whereby you want to cool your cold drinks there in the cooler box. We know you guys. So section 16, CEO charged with certain duties. So the CEO holds, what we call ultimate responsibility for occupational health and safety or compliance. Duties can be assigned to managers or supervisors, but accountability remains with the CEO. Whether he employs her managers to help her with the responsibility, at the end of the day, is his duty. So section 17 talks about health and safety representative in workplace. With more than 20 employees, the employer must actually appoint, health and safety representatives. So these reps, we call them reps, right? They act as a link between who? The workers and as well as the management in the health and safety matters. Whether those reps that you select should be within the region, your employees, right? So section 18 functions as the health and safety representatives. So health and safety reps, basically they're authorized to what? To review safety measures, to identify and report, potential hazards. If you see, you must report. Participate in inspections as well, and as well investigation to assist promoting safe workplaces. Then we go to section 19. Section 19 talks about health and safety committees, where there are actually, let's say, where there are more than 2 or more safety representatives. So the employer must actually establish what we call a health and safety committee. So these committees basically is like bringing together the employer and the employee as well, right? So you bring back the employer and the employee representative to what? To address workplace risk and compliances. So let's move on to section 20, which are functions of health and safety committees. So the committee's role is advisory, right? You need to actually know the functions, which include reviewing accidents and as well incident reports. You monitor safety measures. You're making recommendations as well to improve workplace health and safety. And let's say maybe committees, you need to help ensure teamwork in building a safe and healthy environment. So that's a wrap, guys. We said section 7 to section 20, right? But excluding 9, 10, and 11, right? We will do it on the next video. So all these sections, the reason why I did is to show you how the responsibility for workplaces is a shared responsibility, from CEO, to the employer, to every single worker. Because if you understand this, you are good to go. You'll save yourself and you'll be your brother's keeper. So in the next video, we'll further, discuss this act and as well unpack it in the following sections in details. So if you find your video very helpful, please like, share, subscribe, and also drop your questions in the comments so that I'll cover them in the next future videos. So until then, next time, stay safe and work smart. But before I switch off the video, I also wanted to wrap it up by saying, those who want this to be in the good memory, we said that we need section 7 that is signed by who? Section 16. So section 7 is the policy that is signed by the CEO, right? And then section 8, remember this, guys, we need section 7 that is signed by who? By the CEO, so that section 8 will know its duty to inform who? Section 14, which is the employee, as per section 13, which is the duty to inform, or duty of employer, which is to inform and maintain a healthy environment, right? So that section 14 doesn't violate section 15, you see, so that section 14 of those employees, they don't actually violate their duties to adhere, or not to, the duty not to interfere and misuse. So that's a wrap. Till next time, I hope you understand.